up, YouTube? My name is Lexi. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing The Ultimatum Season 3, Episodes 2 and 3. And baby, it was a mess. And I'm here. I'm seated, I'm planted, I'm ready to talk and give my opinions about everything that's going on. So I'm going to give you a brief recap and just sprinkle in my unsolicited thoughts about everything that I've seen so far. So if you like my vibe, please subscribe. Now at this moment in time, go grab your tea, grab your snacks, grab whatever's gonna make you feel comfortable because we have a lot to get into. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Episode 2. So at this point, the couples are still split up. They're still mixing and mingling, trying to figure out who it is that they're gonna be partnering up with to do the experience. So we pan over to Nick and Vanessa, and I just love their relationship so far because it seems like they're too quirky, too odd man out. Like, they don't feel like they're fully seen by their partners, or they just feel like they don't really have the space within their relationship to just be fully embracing of their quirks, their weirdness. Like, they feel like they have to suppress those parts of themselves. So now they're in a situation where they actually could just like dive in on that. So Nick asked her, you know, if we lived together, would you be good with incense? And she's just like, yeah, like that's awesome. You know, she tells him not to bring cheese around her. He thinks, he's just like, oh, like, is it because you're gonna fart? And she's just like, yeah. And Dave, it makes Dave like upset. I'm just like, Dave again. Like, I do not like this guy. But anyway, Nick says that, you know, that I think that would be cute. And I'm just like, look how accepting that is. Like, look how freeing that is. Girl, you don't have to keep on living your life in chains.
What?
You've been out of your room.
No, I haven't.
Please leave him. So she also shares that she was in a bodybuilding contest and she actually really loved her experience, but because Dave is such a freaking energy vampire and because he's just insecure and awful, he's basically made it like uncomfortable for her to even want to do it again. Like, she's like, if she had the opportunity, she would do it again. And Nick is like, I would support you. Like, if that's your dream, like, I want to be there to support you and encourage you to do that. And that is such a huge missing piece for her in her relationship with Dave. So I'm just like, you're with this guy who doesn't support you, who thinks that he's a prize. You're with this guy who's an energy vampire. Dave does absolutely nothing for her. So I'm just like, why are you with this guy? This guy is awful. Let him go and go be free, girl. Go spread your wings and go be creative. Go do something. But this guy is just not it. So I'm just like, this is a very good lesson for a lot of us watching. Like, when you have the right partner is never going to force you to be smaller than who you are. The right partner is never going to force you or make you feel like you have to shrink down to make themselves feel elevated. Like, the right partner is going to love every bit and every part of you. Like, even though they might not agree with it, they're still going to accept that for you. So please do not shrink yourself down for anybody. You know, like, be who you are and love who you are and be with somebody who actually gonna appreciate that. Next, we pan over to the energy vampire and Chanel. Dave pretty much is freaking out because Vanessa is in this experience and she's thriving, she's doing well, she's made a connection with somebody who, you know, revives her energy, her spunk, her spark, and I'm sure he hasn't seen that since Donkey Kong years. So he's having an issue with that. That's making him to me, it's making him extremely insecure. Chanel, at least she offers the fact that in this experience she's looking for somebody who is going to be able to point out her blind spots. The energy vampire has no expectations. He has nothing to contribute whatsoever because all he is focused on is grabbing his partner, packing his bags, and leaving this experience with her. That is all he is focused on. She tries to like comfort him in this moment, Chanel, and she says, you know, she's just like, you know, like, I've thought about it as well. So like, they kind of are like talking about it, but it's not seeming like, you know, we're gonna go and pack our bags tonight. Like, that's not the energy that she's giving, at least. So, you know, there's that. Then they have a conversation where basically they're saying that if they were to find out that their partner slept with somebody else, like, they would be very upset. Dave feels that there are people that are here for a hall pass, like JR. Anyway, and they're just, and Chanel's kind of just like, well, if they could take you so quickly, like, that's a red flag. And I fully agree with that because I feel the same way, which is why I never, not that I don't, but I'm just like, it's so crazy for this show to even be a thing, because these people are signing up for this experience, and these people are mingling with people, and within 3 weeks, while you are still meeting people's representative, while you don't even know the full crux of this person, you are over here. Some people are actually like jeopardizing or losing their relationships over these people. Next, we pan over to the most boring date I have ever seen on date history. Micah and Mariah, they're having a conversation about like, oh, if we were to live together, like what would be the weirdest thing that I could find out about you? And he goes, you know, if we're watching a TV show and I really like a character, I might just walk around emulating their voice all day.
Boring.
That was the most and that was about it. Like, that was all I could take. I skipped through and I left the conversation after that. These two are just boring as hell. And next, so we get over to Arya and Caleb, and I really like them. Like, right now their connection is really like a genuine friendship. Like, you could just tell, like, what I really like about Caleb is that Caleb is a very active listener. Like, he listens to you, you feel like super seen, like he's hearing you out, and he's giving, like, you know, he's basically able to like listen to you. He's able to respond to you in a way that's like healthy. Like, I really enjoy listening to like just watching their interaction and whatnot. Arya, she basically is confiding in him, just more conversations about the fact that she's super independent and just the things that how important stability is to her. She's really like not perplexed, but she really wants to be 100% stable with somebody and feel like she is the best version of herself with somebody. She's a person who she thinks ahead, and then in her relationship with Scotty, she feels that he basically isn't giving her the stability that what she's looking for. Like, she wants what she wants and she doesn't want to settle. And period. I'm telling you, this girl is a Taurus. Like, I could always feel my Taurus sister shining through the screen. So anyway, she basically is just saying that she really wants that to be like pivotal in her relationship, and she feels like her standards are not being met. So therefore, if your standards are not being met, like, what are you really pushing for marriage for? And I agree 1,000%. I'm telling you, something is off about Scotty. Scotty is just not right in the head. Like, something is off about him. And I already don't like him ever since the blow up from episode 1. So he's already just, girl, I think that she's just too good for him. I think that she's a person who she's going to, okay. I think that Scotty has really worked a number on Arya, because when she's away from somebody like that, like, she's more so, she's in herself, she's in her power, she's in her element. Like, she is able to really, like, we're really getting a full wonderful scope of like who this person is. And Scotty is just so determined to make her seem as if like she's this person who just nothing he does is good enough for her. Like, she's a spoiled brat. Like, he really is doing a lot to really make her out to be somebody that she completely is not. And you see that in her interaction with Caleb. Like, with Caleb, she's able to relax. She's able to just kind of like enjoy the moments that she's having with him. And she doesn't feel like, you know, I feel like Scotty kind of attacks her. Like, I feel like she's not able to just like be and exist and just be at peace. And I feel like Caleb gives her room and gives her the space for her to just be and to exist, and, you know, to be a little bit more open to things that maybe she might not be with Scotty. So after that, we pan over to the cocktail party, and this is like another one of the big meetups where all the cast get together. This cocktail party was a mess on so many levels, and let's just get into it. So they start off with Never Have I Ever. Nothing good ever comes from that game, so whatever. We're gonna just move on and breeze on from that. Then we get a cute little scene between Vanessa and Chanel, and I'm just like, what are we seeing here? You know, I'm just like, what are we seeing here with y'all? Because at this point in time, I think the both of you need to just go on ahead and go be together, because Vanessa comes to her and it's just like, oh, Chanel, I love your voice. Like, you're just so calming. Your energy is so wonderful. Like, I think all the men really love you, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just such a warm, like, I feel like them two could just go on ahead and ditch the men and just go on ahead, go upstairs and go do what needs to be done, because they don't need to be with their partners. So after that incredibly flirtatious scene, we get a scene of JR and Sandy. And JR and Sandy, pretty much they're just saying and agreeing that they are both like risks to each other's like relationships and their partners. We get over to this cringy scene with Dave. And Dave is basically talking to Mariah and he's just expressing like, oh, you get me. Oh, you're just so wonderful. You're this, you're that. In front of Vanessa. Like he feels so insecure in this moment because it's just like, all right, well, Vanessa is here and now I need to just stick it to her, you know. I need to stick it to her that she's having such a good time. I need to make her feel small just like how she's making me feel small. Grr, like that's the energy that he gives. And my girl watches the whole thing. She just goes over to Nick. Nick is also giving her the eye, just like, is that your boy? And she's just like, oh. So she goes and she imitates the same conversation that Dave was having with Mariah and just kind of pokes fun at it or whatever. And after that, Dave, silent, just sitting down in the corner like a big baby that he is. He is just so awful. So I'm just glad that she got up and she handled that situation. Girl, yes, go get with your new man and forget about him being immature in the corner. Leave him alone to his own devices, because no. We pan over to Scotty and Zaina, and Scotty is once again just reiterating the fact that, oh, I gave the ultimatum, oh, I'm ready for marriage. And I'm just like, what do you do? Do you even have a job? You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. Do you have anything going for yourself? What can you actually bring to the table? Life is serious. Love's too mysterious. Where are your materials? Why do you only keep on saying, like, why is that your only claim to fame? That you gave the ultimatum, you gave the ultimatum, you gave the ultimatum. How many times are we going to keep on hearing that? We don't know anything else about you. We don't know nothing about what you like. We don't know what you eat. We don't know what you do. We don't know anything about you other than, I gave the ultimatum, I gave the ultimatum, I gave the ultimatum, I gave the ultimatum, I gave the ultimatum. That's all we hear from him. So I'm just like, Scotty, shut up. And, you know, common flattery to Zaina every now and then. So I'm just like, Zaina, what are you really getting from this? As Zaina is there, Zaina pretty much just like listens to him. And she pretty much is just contributing to the ego that he has. Just like, you know, I could just tell like how wonderful you are. I could tell like you really want to be married. Like she's just giving all these like inflammatory compliments. And I'm just like, he literally is just talking your ear and telling you nothing about nothing. So then we pan over back again with the energy vampire, and the energy vampire is sitting with Mariah, and basically like he's having like a stare down with Vanessa and Nick. So then Vanessa and Nick, they just like leave. They leave and they have their moment, and then Dave just kind of gets back in his feelings again. So Dave goes in a corner and he is joined with Chanel, and the both of them, like I said, Dave is just struggling and he's having a hard time around the whole premise of the show. Like he's having a hard time with this interaction. He's having a hard time with watching Vanessa be happy with somebody else. He's just having a hard time in general. So Chanel turns to him and she says, you know what, let's just smile at each other. Even though we don't really feel like smiling right now, let's just smile and it'll make us feel better. And I thought that was like really sweet of her. I think that she's just such a like cute, like good energy, positive vibe, like somebody who you would want around when you're just not feeling your best, and they'll just do something that's just so small and effortless, and it will just completely 1000% change the perspective of whatever bad day you might be having. So I just think that's beautiful that Chanel is able to contribute that kind of energy. Then we get to the most annoying part, or just the most disgusting part of the cocktail party. Micah and JR. So JR asked Micah, yo, you ever been with a white girl? And I'm just like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I hate this guy. Every time you see a guy with that kind of braid pattern in their hair.
What is it, the braids? I heard your feelings.
There's nothing good that comes out of a guy that has that braid kind of fade haircut. Once you see it, it's an automatic red flag. Just go to the corner. He feels like this is a opportunity, no strings attached, blah 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 blah. And it's just like right then and there, you are not here for the right reasons. You are just here you are here to just be a disruptor. He talks about the two ladies. He thinks that Sandy is the fiery option and Arya is the more safe, calm option, because basically, like, you know, they come from similar backgrounds, and he's already used to that because all he dates is mixed girls. So this guy is a colorist. This guy is a fetishizer. This guy this guy is awful. Like, get him off my screen. I don't like JR whatsoever. So I'm just, and the thing about JR is like, he's like, at face value, he's an attractive man, but as soon as he talks, corny. And it's just a prime example of muscles, face, like, all of that is never going to erase the amount of corny that is in you.
I want to let you know you don't have to be a bitch nigga all your life. You don't. After this show, you can get one of these real niggas in attendance today and let him tutor you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays till you get some of that bitch out your system. I'm trying to save your life.
As he's talking about the two ladies, with Arya, like, he's a completely different person. He's grounded, he's down to earth, he's able to have, like, more meaningful conversations. And with Sandy, it's just straight up, just sexual energy. A dog in heat. What is your problem? Sandy not even fine like that. Like, Arya is stunning and you don't even have half of that energy. Sandy has no body. She has no nothing. Like, what is it about this girl that is making you just go so, like, go so crazy over her? And I'm also just like, what is your relationship like with Zaina? Well, the relationship that you allegedly have with Zaina. What does that look like? Because am I to understand that this also another super beautiful woman? Am I also to believe that she has never said certain things to you, or she doesn't, like, you know, listen to you the way that Sandy listens to you? Like, what is it? Like, why do you feel the need to get on our TV screens and just really beat down on the fact that, you know, you've never had certain things? With Arya, like, he's gonna have to elevate. He's gonna have to be better than he is. And with Sandy is not going to challenge him. Sandy's not going to give him anything monumental. He is going to just be exactly who he is, and she is going to think that that is awesome. And I think that if he chooses Sandy, it will pretty much solidify the fact that he's just here to mess around. I think that JR very much so knows what it's going to take for a marriage. And the two ladies that he has as options, option A would be Arya, and that means that he actually is here for marriage. And option B would be Sandy, which is I'm here to have a good time and not be here for a long time. So now my girl Vanessa pulls up with her therapy chair attitude, and she's all like, you know, let's talk because Dave is struggling. She's there and she's checking on him, and she goes from being this joyous, bubbly woman to just, are you okay? Coaxing him through, talking him down off the ledge. He's surprised at how well she's doing, and he's emotional about the fact that he could potentially lose her. That's frightening to him, and she basically is sharing thoughts that she's pretty much excited for the trial marriage, and he's just like, oh, really? Like, you know, you're excited about that? And it's just like, yeah, she's having a good time. Like, why would she not be ready to do that? Next day, Zaina and Scotty, they go on a date, and pretty much Zaina is giving us the backstory on her relationship with JR, giving us insight as to what that experience is, and pretty much it just gives that she's been carrying the whole relationship. She says that he has a wandering eye, she doesn't feel prioritized, like she plans everything. She pretty much is doing all the heavy lifting in her relationship, the Instagram relationship, but you know, it's still a relationship for the show. But anyway, she pretty much is just saying that she does all the heavy lifting for it, and she's looking forward to having somebody who will prioritize her in this experience. And basically she wants a partner who is going to be willing to take the lead. We get to a date between Arya and JR, and God bless Arya's soul, she thinks that JR is a loyal man, and I just know that he's not. But anyway, in this conversation, she's expressing that she feels protected with him. And I get why you would feel that way with a man next to JR next to you. She asked him, like, are you fully healed from the relationship where you had infidelity, which was his marriage? And he basically is saying, you know, like, that's over with. He says that he very much so understands that when he gets married, like, that's going to be, like, it. He doesn't want to. It's very important for him to choose the right partner. So that, him saying that alone, like, that lets me know that he's very aware, he's very cognizant of what he's doing. Don't ever let a man make you feel like they are confused about something. The man knows 100% what he wants, what he's doing. Like, he's very cognizant of all actions that he is taking. So the fact that he has been in this experience, carrying on the way he's been carrying on with Sandy, he is here to have a good time. He knows that if he wants to actually be married to Zaina, and that's the next thing. I'm just like, I think that he doesn't even want to be married to Zaina. I think that he's just here and he's like going through the motions with Zaina. Maybe they weren't even in a good position from where they were at this point in time when they even signed up for this experience. But them two, like, I don't think that that's really what he wants, and I feel like he knows exactly what he wants in a partner. And if he's been toggling the line with Zaina, then that's probably not what he wants. And he's also hearing this experience where if he's already pretty sure that he's not really going to be marrying the Zaina, he's going to just be over here having fun. He's going to be having fun. He's having a hall pass. He's doing whatever. And he's going to go about his day because he very much so knows what he wants and what he's looking for in a partner. And he knows for a fact that Arya would be that. So because that is not really where his head is at, I don't think that he's really going to be picking Arya for this trial experience. So after this wonderful, enlightening conversation, we pan over to him on a date with freaking Sandy. And the first thing that we hear is the whole 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. And I'm just like, okay. Like, the contrast between the dates. So he's just like asking her, oh, like, what kind of kisser are you? He has not asked Sandy one important question about her background, where she comes from, what things she has survived, what her adversities has been like. He has not asked her nothing of substance this entire time of interacting with this girl. He has asked her physical things. He has complimented physical attributes of this lady, but actually nothing. We know nothing about Sandy's backstory other than she is attracted to JR, and that is that. We don't know anything else. So they start off with that, and then all of a sudden they have a little smooch moment, and I'm just like, y'all not even in the child marriage. You're supposed to be kissing on each other like that. What is going on here? What is going on here? So they're already breaking rules and doing their own thing. So now we get to the moment of truth. We are down to the choice. I really hate the way that they structure the choice. So the whole purpose of this particular scene is just to be messy as hell, because literally one person could go and make their choice, the other person could just say yes or no, and we could just move on and move forward. It doesn't have to be all these declarations of love bombing and all these declarations of like infatuations with people that you've only met about a week ago. So whatever. So I'm just gonna fast forward through all that malarkey and just get to the couples, except there's a part that I do want to talk about. We got Scotty and Zaina, and in this interaction pretty much Scotty just gaslights the hell out of Arya. Then we get Micah and Mariah. Nobody cares. The next couple we have is Chanel and Dave. Micah gets emotional. Micah gets emotional, and Micah pretty much tells Dave, just like, you know, that's my best friend, and make sure that she's safe, make sure she doesn't want for anything, like make sure that she's always okay, which is what I felt. I felt that way, that he actually genuinely loves this woman, and he wants to make sure, like, he actually does want to be with her wholeheartedly. I just think that it's just a matter of timing. So when he's just like, you know, as long as she's safe, you safe. I love that, period. Be that way about anybody, and if you find somebody in your life who is going to be that way about you, you got a good one. We pan over to freaking Sandy. Sandy's at this other corner of the table just jumping in, just like, yeah, we're leaning into... Girl, nobody is talking to you. Nobody is talking to you in this moment, but whatever. Sandy just wants to sit up here and talk. So then we end up panning over to JR, and JR is making his decision. As JR is kind of making his decision, he's talking about, like, you know, the contrast between the two women, and he does acknowledge that Arya is a wonderful woman, a wonderful partner, a wonderful this, a wonderful that. And then he pans over to talk about Sandy, and he just keeps on saying, like, oh, she has this like fire, she's this, she's that, and I'm just like, what fire are we where is the fire? Where is it hot? Where is it burning? Like, where is the fire that you keep on mentioning here? JR, he also in his speech to Arya, like, he's saying like really nice things about her, and it affects her because she feels like, you know, Scotty doesn't really say nice things about her. So with the fact that JR was able to like have his interaction with her and still see like the magic in her, the wonder in her, like that was super appreciated. JR is still making his selection. JR is pretty much still talking, and now he's over here panning over to Sandy. Sandy is over here saying like their little moments. Basically, like, you could visibly see that these two are flirting with each other, and Nick is not having it. Not on his watch.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Nick is over here. He is just spilling his guts. He's just like, I think that is so crazy that you've been able to have this kind of connection with JR. And she's over here just feeling some type of way because she has not been able to look at him the same way that she's been out here looking at JR. And I was like, baby, that is bad. That just means that that girl don't like you. And she does not like you, Nick. Like, that's really what it is. And if you look at the contrast between the two of them, like, you know, let's keep it a stack. Like, if I had Nick and then if I'm over here presented with JR, like, honestly, I am gonna be looking at this man. This man is fine. So visibly he is fine. Mentally, no. But visibly, like, the contrast between the two, like, there is no comparison there. So Sandy, yeah, she's gonna have a good time with JR. Nick is also saying that he's had to work, like, he's like, it took me like so long for me to like really get to know you, like for you to really like open up to me. He says that, you know, you've been able to make eye contact with JR, and I'm just like, JR, fine. Like, we're not about to sit down here and act like when a girl likes a guy, like, if I like you, I am staring you down. I'm watching everything about you. I'm watching how you breathe. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at those eyes. I'm looking at everything about you. That's because I like you. But the fact that, you know, he hasn't been able to feel that sense of connectivity from her, or like she's not making super eye contact, and she's just like, you know, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, girl, you don't like him. Nick, she don't like you. That's it. Stop trying to make fetch happen here. So Nick is still spiraling. Nick is pretty much just saying that if you really are not thinking seriously about like marriage or whatever, go with JR. Go with this decision, because he doesn't think that their connection is actually serious. And Sandy's over here just like, we have a real connection. Like, you could feel like, you have no idea what we have. I'm like, Sandy, you have lust. You have lust. That is all that you have, girl. So, you know, I don't know who you are trying to fool. And nobody else is around the table saying, yeah, like, I thought you guys were so magical. Everybody at the table is sitting down there like, they are not taking y'all seriously. We are not taking you seriously. We know what y'all about to do, and nothing productive is going to come out of this union. So we finally asked JR if he's ready to make his choice, and he goes, I am. And then all of a sudden, we get cut off because Chris Colleen,
you raggedy bitch,
you ain't shit. And you did not have to cut off the episode like that. And that is episode 2. So now let's get over to episode 3. So episode 3, it picks up with JR making his decision. And lo and behold and lo, he picks Sandy. We all knew he was going to pick Sandy. So that was not a surprise to absolutely anybody. To move it along, then we get to Aria. She selects Caleb. And I'm just like, oh, happy for that. And then lastly, we get Nick and Vanessa. So then that begins the trial marriages. So now the couples go over to the rooms and we're getting to see how they're interacting with each other. The first couple we see is Nick and Vanessa. Nick is over here still spiraling a bit over his ex, but ultimately the both of them are still coming together on the fact that they chose each other and they're actually excited to be paired together for this experience. JR and Sandy, we pan over to them and he's just like, how do you feel about me sleeping in the king bed with you? And she's just like, that's fine. They're just settling into like the whole wifey, hubby type of situation. Get them off my screen. I really don't care about what's going on with these two. Next, we're having Chanel and Dave, and they're still reflecting. They're still thinking about, like, you know, what happened, the selections that were made. These two, once they actually get into a room together, they pretty much are really adamant about leaving the experience. These two are sitting up here and they really hate this. Chanel feels visibly awkward just like being in a room with somebody who she doesn't know, and she's not really fully comfortable with this person. Dave is really freaking out because Nick grabbed the ring and he's just being super subconscious about the fact that he's over there with Vanessa right now. Like, he is just not having a good time, and the both of them at this moment in time, they are ready to go and pack their bag and grab their people and leave. So that is where they're at the moment. We head over to Micah and Mariah, and they are bored. They are bored in the house.
bored in the house, bored in the house, bored, bored in the house, bored in the house, bored.
That's all I have for that. They're bored in the house. So then we get over to Arya and Caleb. Arya is still feeling very gaslit by Scotty because Scotty's an ass. Basically, she's just feeling really emotional about the things that he has said and how he was presenting himself at the table. And Caleb is so sweet. He goes to get like a roll of tissue paper to comfort her. And he was also just like, you know, we have to ration this. So basically, like, you know, don't be sitting up here crying all night because we only got like one roll of toilet paper. But it was really sweet. Like, it's just him showing up for her, or at least being like, you know, comforting to her in this moment because she's just so distraught over what actually is happening. So I love them. I hope that they are gonna have a great child marriage, and I'm happy that they chose each other, especially because Arya potentially could have been joining up with JR. So I'm just so happy that two people who look sane, they look like they, you know, they're gonna match each other very well. Like, it looks like the epitome of peace. So I'm very happy that these two actually chose each other in this experience. Like, thank God, because Arya did not need to be anywhere near JR. We pan over to Scotty and Zaina. They're just kind of settling over. She's just like, oh no, I kind of want to talk about everything that happened with my new husband. So they go and they talk about the talk on the couch. She's just kind of going over her feelings about things. Nothing really too crazy happens with them. Scotty is still over here love bombing this lady. I am tired of Scotty. And Scotty and her, they're getting ready for bed. And he very much so is just getting himself comfortable to go and be in the same bed with her. And then all of a sudden you get like a pan scene back over with Arya and Caleb. And Arya's just like, I hope that he's not sleeping in the same bed with Zaina. I'm just like, girl, he crawled in. He got himself together. He is in that bed with her. I'm so sorry to let you know that. But he is in that bed night one with that lady. Nick and Vanessa, they're also getting ready for bed. But they also are acknowledging how safe they feel with each other. Just exchanging pleasantries. It's good to see. Love that for them. Next. Sandy and JR. We pan over to this cringy ass scene, and Sandy is just like, you know, what does JR stand for? You would have known that. Like, why are you asking this man this now when you are in bed with him? You don't even know what his first name is, but you done kissed him, you done sat up here and felt on his muscles, like you've been sexualizing this man, and you don't even know what his name is. Like, I thought that was crazy as hell, but whatever. So now he finally reveals that his name is like John Richard, and he also was just like, oh, what does Sandy stand for? Questions that should have been asked upon the first meeting. Is what I'm saying. Like, he has not asked her anything of substance this entire time they've known each other. But, you know, she just got so much fire, and I know her. The connection is so deep. What is your name? So we find out that Sandy is actually a nickname for Sandra. Sandra with an O. After that, we get panned to this new scene, and chaos is erupting in the next room. Dave and Chanel. Now Chanel is getting up at the early wee hours of 3 something in the morning, and she is just feverishly texting on this phone. And I'm like, who are you talking to? But clearly she's talking to Micah, and she's trying to get her, you know, they're trying to coordinate something or whatever, I don't know. But Micah, he pretty much is walking around the apartment. All you see is Mariah just hop out the shower trying to find out what's going on, and your trial husband has left, girl. He's outside moving. So then Dave wakes up because he's notices that Chanel is missing, and he's just like, you know, she's just like, I just need some air, yada yada yada. He's just, do you want me to go with you? You know, just sticking true to that, like, make sure she's safe, like checking in on her, yada yada yada. So she's just like, no, like, I can handle it, I'll be okay, blah 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 blah. So like, she leaves. My girl does not come back to that apartment until 8:30 in the morning. It was 3 something when we first saw them feverishly texting, and all of a sudden she don't come back till 8:30 in the morning. Girl, you with your man. I understand you was feeling some type of way. She went and she was out here with her man and trying to figure things out. So after that, the next day, we waking up, the couples are starting to wake up. So it's the day 1 of the child marriages. The couples are waking up, JR and Sandy. Now, I don't know if y'all peep, but these two, they went to bed in wife beaters. He got a whole t-shirt on. She got another outfit on. Y'all. Them people was smashing. But whatever. That's my speculation about what's going on. I could be wrong, but them people was smashing. Nick and Sandy, they run into each other and they have a conversation, and somewhere along the lines Sandy reveals to Nick that she kissed Jay, like her and JR have kissed, and Nick is spiraling. So he gets back to the apartment and he's just in his feelings and he's being so angry and he's so hurt over the whole thing, and he's just like venting about it with Vanessa. And Vanessa, like at this moment in time, like Vanessa had finally gotten with somebody where she felt like she was gonna be like seen and valued, and I think like her experience has now changed a bit, because now like she's realizing that she's back in that therapy session where she has to like coax a man through his emotions, and it's no longer like a fun experience for them to just feel and just be who they are. And she's like trying to reassure him that she's also here in this process, and he just not trying to hear any of that. He's not trying to hear that you're here for him. He is just over here fixated and upset about Sandy and what is going on. And it just pans off in Vanessa just being very sad. So, is this gonna change her experience? Is she no longer gonna have a good time with Nick? Does she no longer feel valued with Nick? Like, we don't really know. And then that is the end of episode 3. So those are my thoughts. Let me know, drop down in the comments, let me know how you feel about what has gone on and what has taken place so far. And I will be back and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.